DJ.
I'm going to hell. What is going on, you guys? It's Extreme here, and welcome back to another episode of Road to Max Prestige, a series I do every single day at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Now, I noticed that I haven't updated the graphic for this series, so yeah, fixed. There you go. Yes, I am on my first Prestige, and unfortunately, I didn't realize I hadn't updated the graphics. So, funny thing, I actually like the idea of showing. Well, I'll show you guys tomorrow more specifically what I'm going to do. I might continue to do that, like have it level up, if you will, each day. That'd be kind of cool. A nice little transition, I guess. I don't know. Well, I'll figure something out. I just want to have some fun with it, I guess. Anyways, so today I thought I'd talk to you guys about my Uncle Mario. And the reason I want to talk about my Uncle Mario is because my uncle passed away 6 years ago this month. And my Uncle Mario was one hell of a guy. He had his demons. He had a lot of demons, actually. But I don't like to dwell on that stuff. And whenever I think of my uncle, you know, I always say my uncle reminds me of someone in Hollywood. And to give you guys an explanation of who my uncle reminds me of, or who reminds me more specifically of my uncle, because whenever I see this actor, I go, that looks like my uncle. You know, you guys probably know who Danny Trejo is, right? Okay, Danny Trejo is not my uncle, all right? But my Uncle Mario looked a lot like him. He had the long hair, he had the goatee, he had the same physical stature as Danny Trejo has had. He used to be a tall, muscular man. At the end, my uncle had become a short, kind of, you know, he wasn't really, I wouldn't say he was a weak individual, but due to various issues he had physically at the time of his death, he wasn't the same man I remember growing up. I always looked up to my uncle. Like, I always thought, like, man, you know, this dude's like badass. And he was, in a lot of ways. My uncle was, he was a badass, man. And not a bad way either. You know, there are stories of my uncle doing things that, yeah, probably not a smart thing to do. But my uncle was a bit of a troublemaker as well, from the stories I've been told over the years. Sadly, I didn't have a very strong relationship with my uncle because some stuff had happened between my mom and my dad and my uncle that put a strain on mine and my brother's relationship with him. Not because my uncle was a horrible person, but it made my mom and dad not feel comfortable with us being alone with my uncle. And not even like that. Like, not in that way, you guys. Don't think that, no. It was more along the lines of my uncle made some poor choices, and they lost their faith in him. So as we got older, they didn't really care, and they left it up to us, you know, if we wanted to have a relationship with him. And I tried, and he tried too. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say my uncle didn't try to have a relationship with me and my brothers, but he didn't really understand Elliot because of Elliot's disability. And Eric's a fucking smart ass, so my uncle thought Eric was a jackass. But my uncle always was very fond of me because, well, one, I was the oldest boy in our family, and two, I was his little buddy, you know. Right after I was born, my uncle was living with us, so he spent a lot of time with me. And my uncle was a wonderful man in many different ways. An asshole in others, but that was my uncle, you know. He had a dry sense of humor. I remember that about him. And I miss him. He passed away the same year my mom did. And he had a daughter, my cousin Vanessa. And I love my cousin very, very much. She reminds me a lot of him. She does. She's a bit of a smartass. She has this "I'm gonna do it my way" or the highway mentality, like my uncle. And it's taken shit hitting the fan for her to say, "Fuck you, go away," and like do shit on her own. And I know my uncle would be proud of who she is and who she's become. And because that was him, you know. Anyways, I would love to tell you guys more about my uncle. Unfortunately, this is a very short episode, and this episode is unfortunately coming to a rapid end. This is probably a really shitty gameplay, but it's the best I could come up with on a short notice. So, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will be back tomorrow with another one. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet, but I'll think of something good. Until next time, adios. You guys, I really do enjoy the game, but I just haven't had that overwhelming desire, like, I've got to play Call of Duty right now. And I don't want to play when I don't have that feeling, because then it feels like a chore. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to play the game, and I'm looking forward to playing it sometime in the next few days, but I want to sit down and devote some serious time and play and really get into the game. That's not going to happen right now, because Destiny's about to get an update, a major update. And when I say update, I'm not referring to a patch, I'm referring to it's getting its first major DLC, and I'm like a kid in a candy store, man. I haven't felt like this in